Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. I'm so happy to be back. It's been a week. It's been one whole week since I've seen you guys, and I was in the mountains. So if you haven't seen my story or my other posts, totally fine. It's okay. I know you don't live and breathe and die my social media, but you should. I have been in the mountains of Tennessee with my family, and we had a really good time. And okay, so here's the thing. I totally planned on going live every day from Tennessee. I even Friday when I left, I was like, will I do my hair every day? Will I wear a ball cap? I took my ring light, my tripod. I took lots of hats so I could wear different hats every day. I fully intended. And then on Sunday night, I was like, I am dreading going live tomorrow not because I don't love it, because I love it, but it was stressful for me because I felt like I wasn't in the right mindset. I was fully engaged with my family, and I just felt like I don't know that I can switch my mindset back to business. And so I just was like, you know what? I started my business so that I could decide how I run my day to day. And why am I feeling like I'm being forced to do this? No one's forcing me to do it. I love it, and I do it because I love it. And so I decided not to do it. And so I made a post and said I wasn't coming live this week, and it was awesome. It was so great. And so I enjoyed my family. All of my family lived together my whole life, and just in the last 2 years, my brother moved to Virginia 2 years ago, and my mom moved to North Carolina 1 year ago. And so my dad's still here, but I don't see them very often anymore. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to be fully engaged here. So anyway, that was kind of what my week was like. We did lots of fun stuff. You can check it out on my stories if you want to see. But so much happened here, right? Okay, so we announced the winners of the book giveaway, which these babies are going in the mail today. So that's super exciting. We announced the winners of the book giveaway. We had a hurricane here in Central Florida. So if you're watching from Central Florida, we had a hurricane, I guess. I wasn't here, so it didn't seem like it was that bad. And then we had Jordan's podcast go live from the Swell Summit. He's amazing. And lots of crazy stuff. So that's exciting, right? There's so much. I know. I feel like I'm like, bleh. We got home at 10:30 last night. So we drove and we got home at 10:30 last night, and we're having our bathroom remodeled, our main bathroom remodeled while we were gone. And we knew it would not be done when we got home. But I don't think you can fully comprehend what it means to have a bathroom in complete shambles. It's a lot. It's a lot when it's your main bathroom. And so it's just been crazy. I literally just sat down 1 second ago. So it's crazy at my house right now. And then we have back to school on Monday. So I've got to do 1,000 device pickups today. Okay. Anyway, enough about my personal life and how insane it is currently. But I wanted to talk a little bit about how I worked myself out of a job. And I know you guys are probably like, huh? But this vacation was so different from most vacations. I don't know about you guys, but if you're a small business owner, you probably know that it's very rare that you walk away from your business for 7 days, right? We don't do that. This is the first time I've ever done it. I always say I completely disengage. And I do completely disengage, but there's always I've always been the go-to person in my business. And in reality, up until about, 8 months ago, I've always been really very involved in the day-to-day, very involved. So all decisions still came through me. All sales to some degree came through me. And about 8 months ago is when Ira and I were like, I can't continue to grow our business if I'm constantly bogged down by all of the day-to-day of our business. We have such big plans for Blush and 11 and my coaching business. And I want so desperately to start being able to coach other wedding industry professionals to be able to scale their business the way Ira and I have been able to do that. And I can't continue to scale and continue to teach other people if I am so involved in the day-to-day. And so really about 2 years ago, I started pulling back and to me that looked like not doing weddings anymore. And really, I haven't done my own weddings in a really long time, unless there's like an emergency that comes up and I have to step in. So I haven't been part of the schedule or the sales rotation for at least 2 years. So that part's been great. But what I didn't realize is that I'm still so involved. Like, CRM questions, sales questions, social media, like everything went through me. And I was like, I feel like I'm never off, and I have such an incredible team. But just recently, in the last 8 months, Ira and I've really spent time thinking, what do we need to do to completely pull me out of the day-to-day of my business? Because it's so important for me to be able to continue growing our business, to step out of the day-to-day. And so when I say I worked myself out of a job, you guys, I was gone for 7 days, 7 full days. And the entire time I was gone, I got 2 texts. 2. I didn't check emails. I didn't even open my computer. I had it in case there was an emergency. I never opened my computer. My emails don't come to my phone anyway, so unless I ask them to. So I didn't have any emails that I had to deal with. I had no phone calls that came to me. I had no, there's an emergency. I typically still run our staff meeting when I'm on vacation. I didn't do our staff meeting. And the reason I tell you this is not because I want you to think like, oh, good for you, Brandee, like you had an awesome vacation. It's because so much of what I teach now is really building a business. And building a business is so different than building a job. And what I did was I worked myself out of a job because I am a business owner. I'm not a wedding planner, if that makes sense. I still love planning weddings. It's why I started my business. It's what I dreamed of doing since I was 6. I vividly remember dreaming of this when I was 6. But there's a difference between building a job and building a business. And for me, my family is 100% supported by this business that we have. And when I started thinking about the fact that we have 3 kids and my entire income, our entire income for our house is supported by this business, and all of the business ran off of me, essentially, basically meaning that no one really fully understood what their role was. I was more of a task manager, right? And even though I wasn't necessarily doing weddings anymore, if I were to become incapacitated or pass away or whatever, or just want to walk away, that wasn't possible. My business wasn't sellable. It was all me. So if I wanted to sell my business at some point and retire, or if I just wanted to run it from afar or retire and have my staff run it, that wasn't an option because I had created a job for myself. And when you really think about it, it's like, but then why did I leave my job that I had? I wanted to create a business, and there's such a massive difference. The difference is if you've created a business, you should be able to walk away from it and it still run and no one know the difference, right? To do that, there's so much infrastructure that you have to put in place. Each person on your team has to understand exactly what their role is and what their level of authority is. So for us, one of the things that we are literally like heads down working on right now for our company is making sure that our team understands I have always been the person who has given them their role. And I am fully aware that I'm not great at that. I do feel like I'm a good leader. My staff tells me that. So I don't know if they're lying or not, but either way, I do feel like I'm a great encourager. I feel like I'm great at like really pulling out the best in people. And that's what I love doing. What I'm not great at doing is clearly defining what their role is. And so everyone feels very like, I need to ask Brandee about this. I need to ask Brandee about this. So I've brought someone in. Ira and I decided to hire someone with that skill set to help me be able to just encourage my team and really like put the best people in place. But this person is there to help me define what each of my staff's role are. So now my sales manager doesn't have to ask me, can I can I discount this package? Or can I add an upgrade for this price? Because we have defined all of the gray for her. It's very, we've taught her like how to think through it and how to think through profit. Does she know how much profit that she's making off of each package so that she doesn't have to ask me anymore, right? Or our operations person. Now we have someone completely in charge of operations, and she only comes to me if it's over her head. Because, no, Jess, you may not give out 50% discounts. Jess is our sales manager, and she is crazy. But she's amazing, amazingly talented. So at selling and wedding planning and just being awesome. So anyway, Jess is on my Facebook making comments if you guys don't know. But our operations person doesn't have to come to me unless something's over her head. Everyone will go to her, and it will be very clear to my team what their authority is. I can't tell you how awesome it felt to be able to walk away, and not just for a vacation, but to genuinely know that we're on a path at this point to clearly lay out my company in a way that I could walk away from it. And whatever that looks like, I don't ever foresee selling my company, but I for sure want the option to. I want to be able to at some point know that if I want to know I have built something that will sustain my family well into retirement, because it's coming. I mean, I'm 41, so I have some time, but if I'm not thinking about it now, it's going to sneak up on me, and I'm going to be doing weddings until I'm 65 because I haven't planned properly for an exit strategy for my business. And whether that exit strategy is selling it, passing it to one of my children, or running it from afar with an amazing staff and team that can handle it, I don't know what that looks like, but I do know that that infrastructure has to be there in order for me to do that. So this was just a little taste of it, and I really wanted to share with you guys what that difference is, and I'm going to be teaching a lot more on the difference between a job and a business, because in our industry, in the wedding industry, or any service industry really, so often we create jobs for ourselves, and it has to end, guys. Like you cannot be doing weddings when you're 65. I mean, you can. I don't want to. I don't want to have to work every Saturday the rest of my life. And Edmund over here, Edmund or Joanne, I don't know who's behind the Road Studios right now, but is saying amen. And that's so true, you guys, because we need an exit plan, okay? You need an exit plan. You're building a business. You're not building a job. So I'm going to be teaching a lot more on that. And I hope you guys have an awesome Friday. I have literally missed you guys so much. I'm like sad to let you go right now. So what do I want to tell you? Okay. Oh, it's Edmund. Yay. Hey, Huggy. Okay. So what I want to tell you guys is go listen to the podcast that's out right now. That's the first one, number 41, She Who Dares podcast. If I know Edmund has told me, actually Edmund's on my Instagram commenting, so if you guys are wondering, Edmund has told me he does not like podcasts, but he loves YouTube. So Edmund, just for you, we now upload the video versions of our podcasts on YouTube. So you can watch our podcasts, and you can watch me and our guest, and we don't edit out the bloopers for YouTube. So it's actually kind of funny. In this episode, Jordan's dog starts running across his table while we're talking, and we left that in. And you guys, I have to just share this one little funny. Jordan said to me the other day, he texted me, and I forgot to tell him it was on YouTube. I know. But he said, after like a super long argument with my mother that she watched my podcast, I kept telling her, Mom, you can't listen to podcasts, you can't watch podcasts, you can only listen to them. She was like, she described what he was wearing, and he was like, what the heck? And he found it, and so anyway. Okay, that's all I have. Go listen to the podcast. That's it. And have an awesome weekend. And I'm back next week. All back, and we're going to be talking about Instagram Reels, because I'm going to be playing with it all weekend. I've already started dropping them, and I cannot wait to get into Instagram Reels. So we're going to talk about that next week. All right, guys, have a good weekend. Bye.